Are we saving orangutans at the cost of saving humans? Trying to save our ecosystems is necessary, but we need to consider the effects this will have on humans, locally and globally. A bit of background. Most orangutans live in the forests of Indonesia, and their habitat are the trees which are used for logging and for the production of palm oil. However, this is also where most of the local people find their employment. So we need to be careful in how we regulate these industries. Can an NGO, a non-governmental body, a charity, ever create the infrastructure needed to replace logging? The short answer, no. The type of work these NGOs will create in place of logging industries is work in the tourism industry. This, however, is going to be seasonal. It relies on a demand from tourists. Furthermore, other jobs could be created in conservation. However, these skills are not transferable, and also very limited. So, once again, this does not create a steady source of work because conservation skills tend not to be transferable. They tend to be specific. So, in that case, who can replace the infrastructure instead? The government. At the moment, there is minimum welfare provision in Indonesia. This means if you lose your job, you have no means of sustaining yourself, like materially, yourself and your families in case a lot of these people. So, if there was welfare provisions, people wouldn't have such a necessity for logging as a means of supporting themselves. Furthermore, if there were education programs set up by the government, people local to the areas where logging is taking place have an option to go and learn a skill that is transferable and is likely to get them a job. Furthermore, if there was wider provision of welfare, so medical care, education, etc., people would have their needs materially satisfied, so they wouldn't be so desperate for types of jobs that may cause environmental problems. So, what about boycotts? Boycotting is a tactic used by people who otherwise can't support a cause, whether that be they're geographically far away or for economic reasons, in order so that they place pressure on industries and governments to change their practices. So, this tends to be in the case of palm oil when it comes to Indonesia. Palm oil is a product used in many products, like pretty much everything: peanut butter, paint, all sorts. So, one case where a boycott has happened is in terms of peanut butter. You can buy supposedly more ethical peanut butter where the peanuts are farmed in America rather than Indonesia, and it doesn't use palm oil. However, you've got to ask, is it really saving humans to swap one ethically bad product for another? You need to examine the state of the peanut farms in America. Mostly they are staffed by immigrant labour, mostly women of colour, very poor women of colour. They're often taken advantage of, much in the same way the loggers in Indonesia are, because of their lack of economic independence, which means there's often very poor pay and very poor working conditions. So really, boycotts are only effective if the alternative product isn't contributing to another human's oppression, which makes the boycott of palm oil products problematic, because you need to find another product which isn't as ethically bad, even if it's in a different way. In summary, yes, we need to save our ecosystems. Yes, saving orangutans is an important part of that. But we need to consider how we do it. There is no point saving orangutans at the cost of severe harm to humans, especially if those humans are some of the most vulnerable. Therefore, yes, we are currently saving orangutans at the cost of saving humans. So we need to think of ways where we can replace the infrastructure for local people, so boycotting isn't necessarily needed and humans around the world don't feel the effects of this, like tactics such as boycotting which may have a greater effect on them.